He's a Kurdish guy who's left Islam, become a Christian. Tell me the name of the guy who called the Crusades. What was his religion? This is what the Christians are reduced to. Heckling, barking like dogs. We get accused as Muslims of something called taqiyya. Have you heard of taqiyya? No. Taqiyya is apparently Muslims can lie to promote their religion.
That's what Eusebius said.
The only reason it doesn't happen today is because Christianity doesn't have that power anymore. They lost it. But when they had that power, it was a bloody history. Onward, Christian soldiers marching off to war, with the cross of Jesus going on before.
Muslims, but where he was Islam born is strictly Arabic, and that grows. It will continue growing.
What are you on about?
As the more they become Muslim, the more majority they have in the nation, you see the more they are Arabic. This is called Arabization. The culture in Islam is one of the pillars.
All right. No, it's not.
And then...
No, it's not.
Okay, this is over. I'm not going to talk about this anymore.
Well, you just mentioned it.
Okay.
Good.
The second
do I look
is,
Arabized? No, do I look Arabized?
Politics.
Do I look Arabized?
When you become a Muslim, you have to be a politician. Otherwise,
Hussein,
your religion is not complete.
Hussein, you're just making baseless claims, mate.
Really is a waste of time.
Your claims are baseless.
Can you say without politician, a Muslim is a good Muslim?
What?
You see? Is what I'm saying. Muhammad was a good politician. He started from ground zero. He established the first great kingdom.
Repeat that question. Repeat that question.
I'm saying...
Can I say what?
Islam requires...
That wasn't your question.
Muslims,
you've changed it now.
Okay, I changed it a different way. A Muslim also must be a politician. He has to know which party to choose, which politician to follow.
When does it say that?
Oh, okay.
Even he has to go to war if his imam calling for.
What's a politician? When you say politician, how do you understand the word politician?
He has to make the laws.
A politician makes the laws.
The civil laws.
The politician makes the laws.
Yeah. You know what a politician is.
Shall I take off?
Do you
know what a politician is? Do you know what a politician is?
Please, you keep cutting me.
Because I asked you a question and you ignore the question.
As soon as I start speaking, you're cutting my word.
Okay, what's a politician?
You're supposed to be a British man.
What's a politician?
You're supposed to be a British man.
You don't have respect when I speak.
Like a football
This is what I know from them.
Sorry?
You don't have respect.
Listen, you disrespect me when I ask a question, you ignore it and say something completely different. That's disrespect to me.
Your question.
No, you're not. You're ignoring my
When I
question.
start speaking, you're cutting me again.
No, I asked you what's a politician. You answered what a politician was. What did you say?
And I'm saying it.
What is it?
A politician involved making the laws.
Right.
Implying the laws,
right,
which is the civil law,
right,
and go on.
Right, that's your answer. Okay. No, a politician is a representative of the people. That's what a politician is.
Yeah, okay.
They're a person.
What they do?
I'll tell you what a person are. No, I'll tell you what they are. They're a person who the people elect from amongst themselves to be their representative. Yeah. That's what a politician is.
Yeah.
What's your problem with politicians?
Yeah, you see, that's the problem. We don't have in Christianity.
So I see.
In the church,
I get it.
My pastor is not telling me
I'm with you.
got to choose that man.
So what you're saying?
Islam is saying that.
So what you're saying?
My pastor is not telling me you have to go for war.
I've got you.
To defend your
I've got you.
country.
I got you.
In Islam, you have to do that.
I got you.
Your leader, your imam, is calling you to fight.
Okay.
This is politics.
Okay. Have you heard of Remembrance Sunday? Have you heard of Remembrance Sunday in England? The 11th hour of the 11th month. You must have heard of it. Where the Poppy Day. Yeah. Do you know those poor men who died had no choice in doing what they did? You know that, don't you?
Yeah.
You know that their leaders forced them to join the army and go and fight other young men who've been forced by their leaders to fight them. You know that, don't you?
Yeah.
So you're disrespecting them.
No.
You are.
You are the leaders. You are the pastors.
The leaders.
Evangelists.
No, the politicians, yes.
Yeah.
Right, so you have a problem with politicians, yeah?
Yeah, we're politicians.
Do you have a problem with politicians?
They don't do the pious, the religious person does not call for wars. They don't incite.
Do you know why not? Do you know why not?
We don't have politics.
Shall I tell you why not? Shall I tell you why you don't?
Whereas Islam has. That's the difference.
I'll tell you why you don't have it. Shall I tell you why you don't have it in Christianity? Because you lost the power, mate. Because you had that power. The Crusades, no listen, the Crusades, who called the Crusades? Who called the Crusades?
I'm up against.
Who called the Crusades? Tell me the name of the guy who called the Crusades. What was his religion?
I can't remember his name.
No, what was his religion?
He was a Christian.
Oh, he was a Christian. So a Christian leader forced men to go and fight in the holy wars, yes?
Yes or no?
He didn't force.
No?
No, he didn't force.
No?
That's a wrong statement.
No, the peasants weren't forced by their...
No, he didn't force. That's
Okay. Do you know the history of the Crusades?
Requested.
Do you not know that the barons forced their peasants off their lands to go and fight?
No, he didn't force. Are
you sure?
You're exaggerating.
Really? So talk to me about the Fourth Crusade.
Listen, as a Christian today, not only me, the vast and even probably 99%, 100%, they're against crusades. I can explain in this way.
Talk to me about the conquistadors.
One second.
No, talk to me about the conquistadors. Talk to me about the conquistadors from Portugal and Spain. Talk to me about those guys. What did they do?
I haven't answered the other one yet.
What?
About the crusade.
No, all we have to establish is that the leader of the Muslims, the leader of the Christians, called for war, and the people went to war. Yeah?
No, it's not that way.
It's not that way.
it's not-
Kings
it's
were
not the way.
kings
It's
were
not the
forced.
way.
Listen to me.
It's not the
Kings
way you are
were forced to join the crusade. The Pope requested a crusade. Your kingdom had to join that crusade. The Pope's power overruled kingdoms.
force.
Do you know that?
That's wrong.
What do you mean it's wrong?
That's not-
Are you
it's
saying
not
to me?
force.
Are you saying to me a kingdom within Europe could refuse the Pope when he called a crusade?
If you give me 2 minutes, I will explain it to you.
No. Are you saying that?
Promise you don't stop me.
No, are you saying that? Are you saying, I want to understand what you're believing, you see. Are you saying if the Pope called a crusade, the Catholic kingdoms were entitled to refuse the Pope's call? Is that what you're saying?
Will you give me time to answer you?
Yeah, answer. What's my question?
Calling for wars as a Christian, and we don't find in the New Testament.
You just ignore my question.
Hold on here.
You just ignore my question. And that's the problem.
Wait, please.
No, your response should be either yes, the kingdoms did have a choice not to join the crusade,
I'm not
or
filling
no.
a form. Don't be funny. I have to explain to you.
No, if
Give
you're
me
not
2
going to answer
minutes.
my direct question,
You stop
no.
me in the 10-second time.
Because you're not answering my question.
Please. Let me finish it.
No, what's my question?
Your question, Pope forced Christians
No,
to go to
that's not
war,
my question.
And then you...
That's not my
so you
question.
change it.
That wasn't my question. And that's the problem, you're not listening.
No, it's a problem.
Shall I repeat my question?
Listen, but he can't remember.
Shall I repeat
listen anyway.
it? Shall I repeat it?
You don't give me time
Shall
to
I repeat my
answer.
question?
You keep moving and moving.
Shall I repeat my question?
You're not engaging with me.
Shall I repeat my question?
Stopping me.
Shall I repeat my question?
Repeat it. Why you give me time to answer it?
As long as you answer it then. And
As long as you don't stop me, you will get your answer.
as long as your answer doesn't involve the word New Testament, no problem. All
Why
right?
you shouldn't be?
Because it's got nothing to do with my question.
What do you mean? The Pope is reading New Testament.
That wasn't my question.
You see? That's where we get our theology.
That's not my question.
We're talking about Christianity without the
No,
New Testament.
I'm asking you a question. Can you just respond to the question?
Ask again.
All right. It's a very simple question. Did the Catholic kingdoms have the right to refuse a crusade when the Pope called it?
First of all, there was not a Catholic kingdom.
What?
Okay. And they had the right to refuse. There were volunteers went on to release Jerusalem from the invaders. Okay. That went on for 1 or 2 centuries and gradually disappeared from the Western, from the Christian world. It doesn't have the base, it doesn't have a reason from New Testament. It's not practiced from the early church, it's not being practiced today. In the 2,000-year span of Christian history, it's an isolated, a unique case of Christian history. It does not repeat no more. Today, all Christians are against such a movement. I personally am against it. they should not have done
Against
it.
what?
But they did it.
What are you against?
I'm against crusaders. I don't want it.
All right, all right. Did you seriously start the whole answer with "there's no such thing as Catholic kingdoms"?
Sorry?
Did you seriously start your answer? There was no such thing as Catholic kingdoms. What religion was Spain, Portugal, France, Hungary, Poland, Britain? What was their religions?
What was it? Majority were Christian.
Catholics.
Yeah, Christian Catholics.
Right, but you just said there was no Catholic kingdoms.
No, when you say the Catholic kingdom, it was not a religious kingdom as we know, because you compare it with Islam. It was not such a...
The Catholic kingdom was ruled by the Pope.
No, the Pope has the power, but he did not practice as a king the way you know.
No, the Pope had...
have the
Okay,
civil laws.
the Pope was the papacy, first thing, and it was laws.
He didn't practice the civil law, did he?
Who? The Pope?
Yeah.
They practice it today in the Vatican City.
No, he didn't have that.
But they do have it.
That is a lot different than the... When you say the kingdom, it has a definition.
No, the whole principle of what we're saying is this. First of all, I asked you a question whether or not the Catholic kingdoms could refuse the request of a crusade or not. Your response was there's no such thing as Catholic kingdoms, which is an error. Straight away. So that negates your whole answer.
It used to be called Catholic kingdom. I don't know.
Okay, I'll educate you. Okay, I've just said the countries: Spain, Portugal, Poland, France, Hungary. What was the other ones? Denmark, Great Britain were all Catholic kingdoms. And what that meant was the Pope had authority over all of these kingdoms. You know when you watch the Three Musketeers? This always confused me as a kid. When I used to watch the Three Musketeers, I've seen the Three Musketeers working for the king. Then there was these guys in red. And I was thinking, who are these guys in red? They seem to be as powerful as the Musketeers, but the Musketeers work for the king. So how can these guys in red be as powerful? Then I find out Cardinal Richelieu is their boss. And then I'm thinking, well, who's this Cardinal Richelieu? And he is the Pope's representative in that kingdom. And he has the power of the Pope within that country. Do you understand? Now remember one thing, they believed that it was the Pope who appointed kings.
Brother, do you mind if I ask a question?
No. We do mind. No interest in you. No interest in you. Ask him a question, no problem.
I'm not here for you to interest.
I'm not interested. Well, we're having a conversation.
I did ask
Not
you a
interested.
question.
Not interested.
It looks
Not
like
interested.
you are watching
Not
too
interested
much
in you.
movies.
Not interested in you. Not interested.
You are
Not interested.
watching too much
The
movies.
subscribers complain about your voice. Not interested.
Just tell me.
Not interested.
Who is Allah praying
Not interested.
in Surah
Not interested.
23 verse
Not interested. First thing, we're not interested in your misunderstanding of the Quran.
Sir,
Not interested.
Can you please educate
Anyway,
me?
let's stay on point.
Who is Allah praying in Surah 23 verse 56? It looks like you are watching too
Right,
much
so you understand the
movies.
point. So
That's
you have the
all
Catholic
I'm gonna bring
kingdoms.
it to reality.
Yeah, nobody's interested.
Who is
Nobody's
Allah?
interested.
Brother,
Nobody's
are you
interested.
interested?
No one's
Sir?
interested.
Anyone
Nobody's
wants to
interested.
know?
Nobody's interested. No one's 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 interested in you. No one's interested in you. All right. So here's the point, you see. No one's interested. So here's the point. So there was Catholic kingdoms, and the Pope had authority over these Catholic kingdoms. So the Pope can call the crusade. The king couldn't refuse to join the crusade. And what would happen? That would permeate. Right? You had the. I'll explain to you. The king then would call his lords. Listen.
Just wait.
I understand.
You don't explain it to
Who
me.
is
What are you on
Allah
about?
Explain it to me.
praying
Well, you misunderstood.
in Surah 23 verse 56?
Okay, you explain it then.
Brother, can I just get my answer?
No one's interested. No one's interested. No one's interested. No one's interested.
Why are you?
Because we're not interested. We're not talking about that.
No, just a question about
I'm not interested in this nonsense. I'm not interested in this.
Why are you talking about?
Allah is praying to
Sorry,
someone.
just a
Who is
second.
Allah praying?
Watch the video. Watch the video, you'll understand. Watch the video, you'll understand. Watch the video, you'll understand.
Why you don't talk about religion?
Okay, watch the video, you'll understand. All right.
Is Muhammad
Yeah?
higher
There you
than
go.
Allah?
Okay.
Sir,
So,
who is Allah
that's the
praying
principle.
to?
Let him speak. Let him.
Who
Yeah,
is
yeah. Go
Allah
on.
praying to?
Listen, your time.
Carry on.
Give my answer and then I'll walk walk away.
Go on, explain.
Give the
carry
answer, and then I'll walk away.
I'm not interested in her. Forget that. She's had her chance long ago. She's a hypocrite. She's a hypocrite. No need to waste my time with this. Carry on.
Allah does not love liars, and we have a liar here. Who is Allah praying to?
Carry on.
Who is Allah praying to? Who is
No one's
Allah
interested.
praying
You're
to?
irrelevant. No one's interested. No one's interested.
No one is
No one's interested.
with
No.
Allah.
No one's interested in you. No, you. No one's interested.
With Allah and the Quran.
No one's interested.
Who is Allah praying
No one's interested.
to?
No one's interested.
Who is Allah
No one's
praying
interested.
to?
No one's interested.
I love
No one's interested in you.
Who is Allah praying to?
Right.
Who is Allah praying to?
You know.
Who is
There you go. Go tell him. He'll tell you. He'll tell you. He'll tell you.
Come here, sir.
No, he'll go tell you.
I am sure this gentleman needs to know too.
I'm not engaging with you.
Needs to
I'm not
know
engaging with
too.
you.
Who is
I'm not
Allah
engaging with you.
praying to?
I'm not engaging
Who
with
is
you.
Allah
I'm not
praying
engaging
to?
with you.
Who
Don't you
is
understand
Allah
this?
praying
You're a
to?
hypocrite.
Who is
You're a
Allah
hypocrite.
praying
You're a
to?
hypocrite.
Who
You're a
is
hypocrite.
Allah praying to? You look at me
Are
and
you
you say,
gonna say-
Muhammad, shame on you.
This is what the Christians are reduced to. Heckling, barking like dogs. That's all they got. No one's interested. No one's interested.
Who is Allah
You think this is Christianity? You think this is civil?
For a couple of minutes.
No one's interested. No one's interested. No one's interested.
Was watching movies.
No one's interested.
I want to bring Islamic Dawatim to reality.
No one's interested.
That who is Allah?
We're not interested in your Christian hecklers.
No
Christian heckling team. You just heckle us. Irrelevant. You're irrelevant. You're irrelevant. Right. So what I'm saying to you is this. Let me explain the reality. Because the claim was this. Christians don't call their people to war. That was what you said. So I'm showing you in history that's exactly what the Christians did. Because the Pope will call the king will call his lords and barons, the lords will call their people and send them. Because where do you think the men came from?
I'm telling you, the history of Crusaders started very, very progressively from the tribal wars in the continent. The wars between the internal wars.
That's irrelevant to what we just said. Because what we're talking about is this. A Christian leader calling people to fight for the religion. So the question, no. Because today, where am I called to go and fight for my religion?
Well, I have answered you.
No. Because what I'm saying to you is this. From the very, very beginning, you've had double standards. You apply a standard to me that you don't to yourself. You said that according to Islam, if the leader they call for a war, then the people have to fight. And I've shown you in history, Christianity was exactly the same. First thing. Second thing, the only reason it doesn't happen today is because Christianity doesn't have that power anymore. They lost it. But when they had that power, it was a bloody history. Yeah? They butchered, they tortured, worldwide. The cross was carried to South America, where the Incas and the Aztecs were butchered by Christians. Do you know this stuff? It's important to know this stuff before you start throwing stones.
You promised me you won't stop me.
I won't stop you.
Okay.
Another question.
As I started from the Gospel, from the New Testament.
What he said.
Wars is not been propagated in New Testament. It's not been practiced in the early churches. It's not been,
Read this word.
however, issued
Repeat after me.
What do you mean by
early history of the
When
Christianity.
you are a child,
I'm not going to interrupt, but I am going to stop you when you make a mistake. I have to. Let me ask you a question.
You have right not to agree, but respect what
I
I'm
disagree
saying.
what you're saying.
No, please.
All right, I disagree.
Okay, you may disagree, but please let me finish it. Don't interrupt.
it was for.
Okay,
It was like.
it's not in the New Testament. It's not in the apostles' activities. It's not in the early church. It's not in the early history of
It is in the early
Christianity.
church.
Please,
It is.
wait.
Why?
Within 2,000 years' time,
Messenger said,
unfortunately, we find it somewhere between 11th, 13th, or 14th century. Those activities and disappeared gradually. It came to Christian history.
You're wrong.
Gradually, and it disappeared
You're wrong.
gradually.
You're wrong.
today there is not a Christian church
It's like you mean like you want to
establishing an army or preaching for wars.
Okay.
It looks like
It's not in the core of Christian
Okay.
faith.
Okay. Do the. Go ahead. Okay.
We don't find in the
All right.
theology, we don't find in the creed,
Can I refute you on 2 points?
we don't find it today.
Let me refute you on 2 points.
We cannot compare that the Crusades as an isolated incident to jihadism in Islam and the political life in Muslim.
All right.
if you tell me
I'm gonna do 3 things now. The first thing I'm going to ask you a question. What happened to the Christians who didn't agree with the Athanasian Creed?
if it was so
What happened to them?
why?
The Christians didn't agree with the Orthodox version of Christianity. What happened to them?
Picture. But yeah.
That's the first thing I'm going to ask you.
My word.
Second thing I want to ask you.
Repeat my word.
When the British and American army go to war,
I say
and they have their pastor with them, and before they go into battles they have a church service,
the word was
what do you think they're doing? And the third thing, I'm going to give you the first line of a song. Yeah? Onward, Christian soldiers marching off to war, with the cross of Jesus going on before. This is a hymn to boost up the people to go to war in the name of what? Christianity.
Islam. The Quran is like
Yes. So that's that one point. I want to understand, why do you think they read Bible before they go to war in Afghanistan and places like this? Why they have Bible classes? Why they all sing in hymns? Why they have pastors in the army? Do you believe America's a Christian country? Do you believe America's a Christian country? You don't believe it's a Christian country? Do you believe England's a Christian country? So what do you believe a Christian country is? Give me one Christian country in the world.
Christianity is not a religion of a state.
So you don't have a country? Right.
It's
So,
not a religion of the
so if you don't have a country, then how can you make the claim there's no Christian country doing this, that, the other?
I'm saying
You don't have a country.
It's not involved in politics.
Right. But what happened when Christianity did have countries? What did you do? What did Christianity do when it had countries?
The citizens are Christians.
No.
It's possible.
No, you just said right now there is no Christian country. Therefore, no Christian country goes to war. I'm asking you, when Christian countries did exist, what did they do?
There is
Did they go
not
to
a
war?
Christian country.
No, when there was, what did they do?
There was not.
What?
I don't believe that.
You don't believe Britain was a Christian country at one point?
There is not. Christianity doesn't involve in politics. There are people who are Christian living in any
Who?
country.
Okay.
Minority
Okay.
or majority.
According to Christianity, who appoints the king of a country?
Who appoint? Who? To pray for them.
What?
They just pray.
No.
Christians
Who
pray for
appoints?
everybody.
Who appoints the leader of a country?
Who appoints? People appoint. They get
A king.
No.
Who appoints the king?
Who appoints the king?
According to Christianity.
Every state has their own.
No. We're talking about a time when Christians had countries. So I'm asking you a question. According
In the past or today?
in the past, you can't say today there's no Christian countries going to war because there are no Christian countries. So it's a stupid.
can.
Well, yeah, of course you can. But it's stupid, isn't it? It's like me.
There is not a Christian country today.
I agree. So therefore you can't go to war, can you?
They do, but they're
you
not
can't.
saying I am going to war because of my faith.
No, but there's no Christian country, is there? How can they go to war if there is
You
no
see
Christian
what
country?
It's what they do. That's a secular war.
Is there a Christian country or not?
That's a secular war.
Is there a Christian country in this world today or not? According to you. Is there a Christian country today in the world, according to you? No.
What do you mean by Christian country?
It's his claim.
What do you mean?
Population.
What do you mean by
It's his claim.
What do you mean by a Christian country? Which way?
It's your claim. I asked the question, is America a Christian country? No. Is Britain a Christian country? No.
Depends what you mean by Christian country.
Where the leaders are Christian and the laws are coming from Judeo-Christian values.
Okay, can you tell me your name again, please?
Hamza.
Hamza. Brother, there are countries which the majority of the population are Christians and the leaders are Christians, right?
Is that a Christian country then?
Okay, but I do not find in any of them speaking up again and again, I am going to war because of my Bible.
Well, they can't. No, right. Okay.
There is no such
Now
a
you've changed
case.
it. No, now you move the goalposts. Question. First
You
question. No, no.
Your standard.
I said to you is this what? I said to you is what? Okay.
Please let me speak.
No, because you know what I'm saying? I'll be honest with you, you're ignoring my questions. Who appoints the king of a country according to Christianity? God does. God appoints the kings.
God appoints the king. Even
Yes.
in the Bible,
God appoints the kings.
Yes.
So God chooses the kings. Who makes the law?
Who makes the law?
Who made the law?
Listen, that's something the work of God.
No. When does the king make the law?
One second. There is nobody on
Does
earth.
the king make the law?
There is nobody on earth saying, I am God, I appoint this king. God is doing it. We don't know how he's doing it.
You're a Christian, aren't you?
I am.
Right. So if a Christian, someone becomes a king of a country back in the day, right? Who's appointed that king? Who's appointed?
Listen, you cannot convince a Christian.
You just ignore my questions.
No, you cannot convince a Christian to say there is politics in Christianity. We don't believe this. It's not been practiced. It is your assertion. You have your background.
I agreed.
Of Islam.
I told you straight.
Whereas there is politics in Islam.
Hussein, you keep saying politics as if it's a bad thing.
It is a bad thing.
What is your point anyway?
When you are a religious pious person,
my point is trying to
politics
respond to
doesn't-
his nonsense claims. He's a Kurdish guy who's left Islam, become a Christian, which is fine. He's then saying when an Englishman becomes a Muslim, we have to, according to the teachings of Islam, become Arabs, Arab culture and such. All right. And so then we ask the question, what's Arab culture? Surely the way somebody dresses, the music they listen to, the food they eat. Well, I've been a Muslim 17 years. And now there are probably Arab Christians who look more like Arabs than I do.
Yeah.
So it's a nonsense claim, and all he's done.
Why is it a nonsense claim?
Okay, I'm a Muslim. Do I look like an Arab?
No, but if
you are an individual.
Do I look like an Arab?
No.
So why you say I've adopted Arab culture? What Arab culture have I adopted?
I never said that.
Well, that's the claim, isn't it?
Why? But is that what you claim? Is he Arab then?
How many people are you? You're only one.
He doesn't like
We're talking about billions.
He doesn't like answering
You're
questions.
adopting. You're
I speak English, mate.
We know what Arab culture is.
Arab language in order to.
No, I can do, but I don't need to. See, he says it's a requirement.
know the meaning of the Quran if you don't know the Arabic language.
Watch the video, man. I've already explained it. There are English authors who've embraced Islam and translated the Quran who could translate it better than I could ever even imagine.
What, in English?
Yeah.
But we spoke with this gentleman before. There's certain words that are not exactly proper
No,
translation.
nearest meaning. We concede that
Nearest
point.
meaning is not good enough.
Right.
Because a slight difference could be a very serious deviation
no,
of
but no.
what the Quran means. Like when it says beat the woman, it doesn't mean beat the woman
I know it
in
doesn't.
the proper Arabic
No.
language.
Wait.
Okay, I make life easy for you.
Hamza.
My wife's an Arab.
Hamza, you're born as British.
That's right.
If any, no, but the point here is this.
Hamza.
See, look, that's a good standard. You're right. But if you're a Christian, your book has gone through so many filters. You haven't got the original
Hamza.
language.
My book has got through no filter.
Are you a Christian?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
You're
Okay.
an Orthodox Christian.
You're a Christian?
One second.
Yeah, Eastern Orthodox.
All right. So Eastern Orthodox. So I'm assuming you can read Greek.
Hamza, you were born as British.
No.
Why not?
I didn't learn it. I didn't learn Greek.
Right. So how do you understand what the New Testament Gospels say?
When I go to the priest and I sit down with him, he will explain to me through the holy tradition, not just normal tradition.
No.
For let me answer. Let me answer, and then you go. Yeah, I won't be. I'm
Go
not
on.
going on. If I certain things which I don't understand, I can go to the church.
You don't understand any of it. You don't read Greek. You don't understand any of it.
No, if I read it in English,
Okay.
and there's certain things I don't understand,
the same what we
I
would
will
do,
go
of
to the
course.
church,
Right.
and the priest will give me
Right.
what is passed down through the church, through all the years, through the
Through translations. Through translations.
Yeah.
Right.
No, not through translations. No.
Really?
No.
Go on.
All right, and then they know through the traditions exactly what it was meant. Just like if
what language did Jesus speak?
Just like if I was to read the Quran and I don't understand something, I won't be able to learn. I could, but I may not choose to learn Arabic.
But you can
I
do.
will go to a scholar
Yeah, I agree.
or to the
So what's the
mosque,
problem?
and they will explain
he's He's agreed.
Yeah. No. So I'm saying. So that's what I said. So what I'm explaining is this. Look.
Yeah, listen, ask me, I'll answer you quick, and then carry on with this jump because it's rude that I jumped in. He was talking to you. Is that fair?
Well, he's not really answering.
No,
but the point is, the principle is this.
Quickly, that's
all I've said to him, so if you want to apply set a standard of something, then you need to have the same standard yourself. So you can't start saying to me, oh, if you want to understand the Quran's Arabic, you need to learn Arabic.
You don't need to.
I have to. No, but he's saying it's a requirement. Of course we can. But he's saying it's a requirement. We have to do that. We have to Arabize ourselves. Now, me learning Arabic doesn't mean I've Arabized myself. It just means I've learned a language.
Yeah.
So just as, for example, James White, one of the top Christian...
French.
Yeah, but James White, one of the top apologetic Christians, he learns Conic Greek.
Yeah.
So he can read the New Testament manuscripts in the language they're in.
Yeah, he's adopted the culture of Greek and all that.
He's not become a Greek, is he? He's not Slovakian.
I agree with you. I agree with you. You agree with me. We can't go back to the man.
So it's a nonsense claim then?
Yes. Now carry on, bro.
Amra, you were born as British?
Yes.
What was your name?
Darren.
Now you called Hamza.
Or Darren. Hamza, I don't mind.
Did you have mustache before?
Yeah.
Now you have it.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Are you saying having a beard is Arab culture?
It's 1 second. We know that.
Did Jesus have a beard? No, did Jesus have a beard?
No. Yes. Muhammad did it, and his followers are doing it.
We know Jesus did it. Moses did it. What's the problem?
You see, because we have our own culture. We don't follow his clothing. We don't follow his images. Right?
Who?
That's what I'm saying.
You don't follow
already
Jesus.
changing.
Sorry. So me having a beard means I'm an Arab.
It means you are changing gradually.
I'm changing gradually.
Okay.
I've been a Muslim 17 years.
We know Muslims are required to do it, and they're doing it, and now you are doing it. If you were not a Muslim, you would have shaved every other day.
But as a Christian, isn't he supposed to follow
Which
Jesus?
now you have in it.
I'll be honest with you, I had a goatee.
If you were not Muslim, you wouldn't have interest in Arabic. Now you have.
Right.
I'm a Christian. I don't have interest in neither Aramaic nor in Greek.
So
my language is more than enough for me.
Right.
Is what I'm saying to you. Is already I can see the changes in you. Why I have to call you Hamza?
You don't.
What's wrong with your British name?
As you like, mate. I don't
You
care.
see?
What do you mean?
Islam.
What point did you just make?
As a culture.
What point did you just make? What point did you just think you made?
You already proved to me.
When you asked me my name, what did I say it was?
what I'm saying-
When you asked me my name, what did I
what I'm saying
say?
is-
When you asked me my name originally, what did I
When
say?
you become a Muslim, is not only your faith you're practicing in God.
What?
It's not only a relationship between God and you.
Right.
There is also a culture. There is also a politics.
What culture?
There is also
This is what I don't
economic
get.
model.
Right.
And you got little for your personal
Right. So,
life.
But may I ask this?
but what's the problem with that?
Is that because...
I have proven to you, you're already becoming Arabic, right? You cannot deny it.
What?
Not only you.
How do Christian
Arabs
dress?
What you're saying, you're
No,
adopting all these different cultural things.
what am I adopting?
You're already becoming Arabic.
But these are maybe teachings in the Quran which you're practicing.
Listen. Do you know how many people? Listen.
Isn't it that-
One second.
I
One second. Let me explain something to you.
despise
Let me explain something to you. Every time I tell people the teachings of Islam, right? You know what they say to me? Oh yeah, but you don't need a book to do that. Well, that's what they say to me, right? So I'm a Muslim. So what's
I'm going to discuss.
all right? So I'm
You're
a Muslim.
already becoming Arab.
Yeah. So here's the Arab culture, according to him. All right. So what the Muslim culture have adopted? Okay. I don't do drugs. There's some Islamic culture for you. I don't do drugs. Don't sleep about.
What do you mean? There is an Islamic country for you. Are you saying there's Islamic countries that don't do drugs?
Say it again. Sorry.
Are you saying Islamic countries don't do drugs?
No, I didn't say that at all.
What did you mean then by there is an Islamic country for you?
I didn't say that.
Rewind. Let's see. You said, I don't
Culture.
do drugs.
Culture.
There is an Islamic country
No,
for
I didn't
you.
say that.
All right, what did you say?
I said Islamic culture.
Culture.
Islamic culture don't do drugs.
No.
Okay. What do you mean by Islamic culture?
Thank you. Okay. This is the culture that apparently I've adopted by being a Muslim. So the way he was saying the way I've changed since being a Muslim. Okay. So the ways I've changed is what? Don't do drugs, don't drink alcohol, don't gamble, don't sleep about, I don't deal in interest. I take care of my parents, yeah. I don't abuse my neighbours. Yeah, I'm a kind, caring kind of guy, according to the teachings of what I believe. Now, I've had so many atheists and English people say to me...
So far, you've also adopted the Christian way.
What's that? There is no Christian way. According to him, no, you have no way, as he just said.
No, stop, it's very important.
You don't have one.
It's very important. A true Christian will take care of his parents, honour your father.
Can you drink
and
alcohol?
mother. don't gamble, don't...
You can drink alcohol?
So again?
You can drink alcohol?
Do I drink alcohol?
You can drink alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
So
moderation,
it's not the same then, is it?
But that's wine.
No, no. But here's your problem.
Just like you might eat grapes.
See, here's the problem. Because
Do you eat grapes?
Yeah, look. No, I don't. Well, I don't drink. Well, I don't.
I have grape juice.
Well, I don't have fermented
There's a
grapes.
slight difference.
All right. No, but
What is the difference?
This is
the problem about coming late to a conversation.
Let's talk nicely.
Sort of
Yeah.
changes.
No, but this is
Go on.
this is the problem about coming late to a conversation, because his point was this: when you become a Muslim, it's not just about your faith; it's about your economics. No, your economics, your culture, what you can and do, your social system, all of these things, the laws you follow, and all of this stuff. Where he said Christianity is 90% faith and 10% the other stuff, and I agreed with him, because it is. Because if Jesus died for your sins and abolished the law, then he abolished the law, mate. You can't then start scrabbling for bits you like. He either abolished the law or he didn't. If the law's gone, the law's gone. If parts of it remain, show me how you differentiate between what remains and what doesn't. But in Islam, it's in stone. This is what we do.
Set number of rules and things.
No, it's called guidance, you see.
Guidance.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. Every society needs guidance. Yeah. It needs somebody to show what's bad and what's good for the society, not just for themselves, not just for the individual, to protect the individual from society from the individual, and all of these things. Yeah. So everything, but Christianity doesn't have that. That's why it has no Christian country. That's why Christian countries are secular, because they need man's law, because they don't have their own.
But we as an Eastern Orthodox Christian, we follow the Ten Commandments.
Right.
So that's guidance, isn't it?
But sorry, the Ten Commandments?
Yeah. Isn't that guidance?
Yeah, but it's not a definitive guidance, is it?
Is that a guidance?
Okay, the Ten Commandments. All right, can I make it simple for you?
Please answer my question.
What does it mean, thou shalt not kill? What does it mean?
No, is it a set of guidance?
It should, if you understand it correctly, yes.
Yes, yeah.
What does thou shalt not kill mean?
No, wait a minute. Is it a set of
it's guidance, yeah.
So you said a minute ago that Christians don't follow a set of guidance.
So you're saying Jesus didn't abolish that law?
I'm just saying.
No, did he or not?
You've just said. You said. Did you? Did you say here in front of all these people that Christians do not follow a set of guidance?
What did I say before that?
Please answer the yes or no question.
Okay.
It's a yes or no answer.
That's the question again, and then I'll...
Did you say in front of all these people that Christians do not have a set of guidance?
Yes. Let me ask you a question now.
Then...
No. I'm asking you a question now.
No,
did you not agree?
No. Let's finish the question I asked you.
Go on.
You said yes.
No, I'm not going to listen to you. No, because you've taken it out of context.
You took it
out of context.
We are moving away from the question.
No. No.
Did you? Let me.
Yes, I said yes.
You said what?
I said yes. Why did I say yes?
You never. You said the Christians don't follow a set and not given.
Yeah. Why did I say that?
Right, but what? And then I said, so I responded and said to you, but what about the Ten Commandments?
Right.
Are they a set of guidance?
Yes.
And we follow them?
Yes.
You said yes.
Yes.
So are you not contradicting yourself?
No.
Why, sir?
I'll explain. Because you already conceded.
I think it's like being in a court there.
Because you already conceded.
What's your name, by the way?
You don't want to know.
Why?
Go on.
You already conceded prior to that question. Yorgos. Yorgos, isn't it?
Yorgos.
Yasu. Tikanis?
Hello.
Alhamdulillah. Okay.
He's adopted the Greek culture.
Hamzة.
There you go.
Adopted the Greek culture.
There you go. You see,
Go on. We talk nice again.
All right. So, see, what you've done now, you've taken what I said out of context, and I'll explain why.
Yeah, please.
I asked you, did Jesus abolish the law? And you said yes.
I never said that.
All right.
Please rewind and have a look.
No, I appreciate that if I misunderstood. Do you believe Jesus abolished the law?
Let me tell you one thing, yeah?
It's a yes or no answer. It's a yes or no question. Like you did me.
No.
Yes?
1 minute. It's not just a yes or no answer.
Why not?
Because it could be I don't know answer as well, yeah?
Did he abolish the law or not?
Could it be I don't know answer as well?
Okay. Yes, no, I don't know. What is it?
You see? So you're wrong. So please...
I don't think it's a don't know answer, though. I think you're just being pedantic.
I don't know exactly.
You don't know if he abolished the law?
I need to expand on that answer. Please let me answer.
He's a nice guy.
You didn't allow me to answer.
No, but he's a nice guy.
All right,
I know. All right. You're right. No, he's
because he made me answer a yes or no question out of context. After he said something which he's rescinded, and now he's gone don't know.
But he's still a nice guy.
He's a lovely guy.
Why must you be an idiot like me?
Go on.
Two wrongs don't make make a right. Two wrongs don't make a right.
Yorgos, come on.
You see, humility is the answer to everything. Everything, humility. If we all have humility, answers everything.
All right.
But
then,
what I think, look.
I said
There's
yes
a
to your
difference-
answer.
there's a
When I have to say something. I said yes to your idea of the Ten Commandments being guidance.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that, yes, the Christians are following that guidance.
That's true.
I'm saying, yeah, Ten Commandments are guidance. I get that.
They don't follow
But what I want to say on that Ten Commandments, this is what I'm saying to you. I don't understand the Ten Commandments. I'll tell you why. Because was it the second commandment, thou shalt not kill?
Yeah.
And then as soon as Moses come down the mountain, orders killing of 3,000 people. And then after that, there's genocide everywhere.
Yeah.
So I'm confused now. Because if God says thou shalt not kill, and then all of a sudden God is ordering killing of men, women and children everywhere.
And
I don't understand that.
I know, and that's what you saw in the Bible, yeah? Is that what it says in the Bible? Moses coming.
Yeah.
See, now you're asking very deep questions, okay?
No, I'm just saying I don't understand it.
I'm not equipped to answer these kind of questions because this is the difference between Eastern Orthodox Christians and evangelical.
Are you guys Trinitarian?
Yeah.
Okay, so just I just want to add a caveat to that. Sorry. Jesus ordered the killing of men, women and children. Carry on.
Okay. So what I'm saying is you're asking questions here. Eastern Orthodox, we more on worshipping God, praying, trying to have humility and love for people.
Yeah, what do you say?
And within ourselves. Yeah? We do a lot of it. We do fasting. We bow down and like Muslims, and I want to say it without disrespect, the Muslims pray like us Eastern Orthodox Christians, which were many years before any mosque was ever in the Middle East or anywhere.
Do you know why that is?
Please let me answer.
I know, but do you know why it is? It's good to learn these things as we're going.
All right, you want to go?
No, I'm not going to argue.
No,
it's not a point to argue. Do you know why the Muslims pray like you Eastern Orthodox Christians pray?
Yeah.
Because we pray as Jesus prayed. Carry on.
Yeah. That's right.
That's it.
So we get down on our knees and we pray and bow our heads down.
Alhamdulillah.
And we do a number of that times every day, all day.
Alhamdulillah.
And while I'm speaking to you, maybe in my heart, in my mind, I'm praying as well.
Yeah, that's a different though. Yeah,
it's very different to the normal Christians.
Very
You
different.
Muslims in this High Park, they talk to the evangelicals, they think that you have to go to the source of the true church. I don't want to mean promoting now, but you have to go to the original church and ask them. So with me, we focus more on this. You have to go to a scholar of theology for Eastern Orthodox to ask these questions about the Bible. There are many things you're going to find, just like if I was to read the Quran now, there are many things which are going to appear contradictory, but not necessarily is contradictory. And in fact will reveal even more truths in the Quran.
Yeah.
And the same will happen if you speak to a proper theologian of Greek, of Eastern Orthodox, not necessarily Greek, but Eastern Orthodox, that will make you think, oh, it makes sense now why this happened and why that happened, why that one. So that's why I'm not.
No. There's a difference. No. But here's the thing you see.
So understand what it is.
No, here's the thing you see.
Well, evangelicals they are following a new thing, which is sola scriptura.
No, I get that.
This is very important.
No, I get that.
Just say
I
one
get that.
point. Very important. Evangelicals, they introduced a new thing, sola scriptura. Anything which is exactly written in the Bible, that's it. But there was many more things said and done than what is written in the
Obviously
Bible.
So.
And the Eastern Orthodox Church is the one that put the Bible together and decided which books should go in the Bible. Before that, what did they believe?
The problem you've got.
See, there was a holy tradition. There was a holy tradition.
Sorry,
that's why when you go in the church,
I have
you'll see pictures.
I have to pull the rug from your feet. Forgive me, Yorgos.
It's getting excited.
So you're saying to me that the foundation of.
I get into that momentum, and then he cuts me off, and then I come back again.
No, when I hear something, you see, and what happens? You see, when I hear something,
tell me.
Alarm goes in my mind.
Yeah, we talk nice.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm a nice guy, man. No worries about it.
Yeah, you're right.
All right. So basically. So I can understand Eastern Orthodox, Eastern Orthodoxy. Do you go back to the Church Fathers, Eusebius, Origen, Polycarp, and all these guys?
The early Church Fathers,
yes.
which were
Origen, Polycarp, Jerome, all these guys. Okay.
It depends. There's a lot of Western fathers we don't follow.
Okay. Do you follow Eusebius?
Before 1054, when there was split of the Roman
No.
Church,
This is early.
And the Orthodox Church. Before that,
this is early.
Then, the Eastern Orthodox.
Yes. So Eusebius, for example, would be one of your founding fathers. I would say if you're going before.
I don't know about Eusebius.
All right. See, here's the problem you got. We get accused as Muslims of something called taqiyya. Have you heard of taqiyya?
No.
Taqiyya is apparently Muslims can lie to promote their religion.
That's what Eusebius said.
Yes.
and I understand that. But we in our church, we didn't.
No, it's
know about
fantastic.
the Subias.
Oh, that's beautiful. So you understand that then? So you have a...
It doesn't mean we follow the
No.
Subias and what he said.
No, but the problem you've got is this.
It's very important now.
No, but here's
there's a lot of Western fathers that said a lot of things
No.
which we don't agree
Oh, we
with.
know. We know what they said about the Jews. Forget everything else.
Who?
The church fathers. About the synagogues.
Which church fathers?
No, that's what I'm saying to you.
Very important.
No, but the problem is, you see, when I speak to Christians generally...
Why don't you talk to me about Gregory of Nicaea? Why don't we talk about John Chrysostom?
When you... you know what, I'm going to look into Eastern Orthodoxy. Okay, but what I'm saying to you is this. Your founding fathers sanctioned lying to promote their belief.
Like, because of what Eusebius said?
No, I'll give you an example. It wasn't just Eusebius. Jerome said the same as well. And Paul says the same as well.
Who was Jerome? Jerome was after.
Is it?
He translated the Bible into Latin.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe he was going off what Eusebius said.
And again, it's not the Eastern Orthodox Church teaching.
No, but Eusebius...
It's very important. Just like you...
No, I get it.
Just like you with the hadiths. There's a lot of things that of hadiths which you don't agree with, yeah?
No, yeah.
Which you know were introduced, which were...
No, I agree, but we have
a whole science.
No, but we have a
we've got to be fair.
No, but the difference between the hadith and the history of the church fathers is chalk and cheese. Because we have a science behind what we do. We have a process. We have a chains of narration. It's like MI5, just to know who was there, were they not there. We have that.
And we also have Isnad, yeah?
Sorry?
Isnad, is it Isnad?
But Hamzة, what might be a very good discussion with this brother
Go on.
is that, because he's an Orthodox Christian, is that we look at the Orthodox teachings of Jesus in relation to God. That might be a good discussion to have.
But before, you know, what he's talking about? Explain to him Isnad. Tell him Isnad. You just said, before I said that, what did you say? You've got a criteria.
It's not the
And the same the Orthodox Church have with the bishops.
No.
That were passed down with the writings and the eyewitnesses.
I understand.
So we have the same thing.
It's not the same, but anyway.
Why?
I can't go definitive on that right now. It's something to be looked at. Okay.
The science was completely Islamic creation. That's what it was.
Isnad was. But we were before.
No.
650 years before was Eastern Orthodox.
Didn't have it. Now here's the thing, you see.
If
If you're going to say, here's the problem. If Eusebius has said it's okay to lie, you've got a problem now because you don't know what Eusebius lied about.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
So you have to throw Eusebius under the bus now.
I don't know.
No, because if he's known to be lying. And the thing is, you go back to the New
I don't
Testament.
think there was any buses around at the time, so that was a trick question. But carry on.
And if you go back to the New Testament,
chariot then.
and if you go back to the New Testament to Romans, Paul is saying, "Why am I being persecuted for this lie?" So lying is sanctioned by Christianity as long as it's to promote Christianity.
No, that's a very big generalisation because Eusebius said this thing.
Paul said it.
Yeah, but you can't. Because they say one thing.
I get that.
I'm not equipped to answer that.
But once, don't you get the point that once one man has conceded that he thinks it's okay to lie?
Yeah, but you can't. I'm not equipped.
No, I get that. I'm not going definitive.
Comment what Paul said.
Yeah, no.
Of why,
No. What I'm saying to you is this.
Because I'm sure it makes sense. When you got all the church fathers there, and you got all the manuscripts there, and you got all the.
No, but don't you think it's a problem? But don't you think it's
never a problem?
Don't you think it's a problem if Paul?
I never disputed Paul and thought no.
No, but don't you think it's a problem if you have a man called Paul who admits to lying? How can you take what he says seriously?
Again, you're asking me something very deep.
And I'll go deeper. I'll go deeper. It goes deeper than that. And then you read his letters to Galatians and such, and he's arguing against the apostles of Jesus.
Yeah.
He's telling people don't listen to them and saying things contrary to them. So you've got a man who's admitted to lying, and all of a sudden he's going against the teachings of Jesus.